Good afternoon, this is Lost Kobold / Golden Kobold bringing you a juice review of 3 different flavors from backwoodsbrew.net, and those flavors are going to be Casablanca, which you can tell I've been hitting quite frequently, Caramel Cappuccino, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and Melonbacca, which I'll actually be vaping. Casablanca is a very good take on a sweet tobacco. It's supposed to be a Turkish tobacco. I'll say okay, but mainly it's just a sweet tobacco. And it's not an earthy or dry or oatsy tobacco. You're not going to be feeling any jalapeno or anything like that in it. It's just a nice sweet tobacco flavor. It may have a hint of cocoa in it, as they say on the webpage. I'll give them that, but predominantly what you're going to get out of it is the sweet tobacco. However, it is a fantastic take on sweet tobacco. I don't always like sweet tobacco. I prefer earthy, dry tobaccos, but sometimes I do like the decaying tobaccos, and this is kind of in that vein. However, it's superior in all respects, but it's still a sweet tobacco. The other juice, Caramel Cappuccino, I'm going to call this coffee and just leave it at that. What I get out of it is a nice coffee flavor, but I'm not so much getting the caramel or the cappuccino elements, just a whole lot of coffee. And this is a decently well-aged juice now. It was brewed on the 1st, and so it's over 15 days old. I'm not going to say it's bad. However, for me, I don't really like straight up coffee vapes. And I love black coffee as my beverage of choice, but when it comes to vaping, it's not always the most pleasurable experience. However, this is not overly strong at this time and point where it's steeped. And I can vape this. It's just not my most pleasurable of the 3 I have in front of me. I'll finish this bottle, no problem. And I won't be gritting my teeth the whole way. It's just a little too much coffee for me. However, I'll talk about something in a little bit that offsets that. The last juice is Melonbacca, and this is a melon tobacco. Before I get into that, though, the coffee and Casablanca together are just a fantastic experience. And that's one thing I love about Backwoods Brew. You can mix these flavors together to create something you like, and 4 drops of this to a drop of this makes a fantastic tobacco with coffee undertones vape. And it just tastes wonderful. This is not overly sweet, and this is a sweet tobacco, so it really just, it melds perfectly together. These two also go well together. You get, if the more of this you put into the mix, the more tobacco you get, the more of this, the more melon you get. Let's go and talk about and vape the Melonbacca. I really like this juice out of the mailbox. It's now significantly later, and I still like it a lot. I have it loaded into this LR901 2-ohm on the always finicky GGTB. Very good. Let me put another drop in here. Pow! Alright. What you get with the Melonbacca when you get it out of the mailbox is predominantly a sweet melon juice flavor. If you let it sit for a little bit, the melon juice flavor calms down a bit. You do get hints of a sweet tobacco coming through. However, even now, it is predominantly melon with just hints of tobacco. So be aware of that. Don't be thinking it's going to be predominantly tobacco with hints of melon. It is the other way around. If you mix it with the Casablanca, then you can get to the point where you're getting more tobacco than melon. But if you're just buying this, like melon, you know, be looking for some of that melon. And if you like melon, I think you'll really like this juice. Backwoods Brew juices are known for needing to steep, and that's why I'm doing these 16 days after they were bottled. They have an actual born on date on the bottle. When you first get it, it does not necessarily taste exactly like it will 2 weeks from now, or 2 weeks from when you get it. The flavors kind of come together better over time. Backwoodsbrew.net, not my favorite vendor, but I can understand how he could easily become certain people's favorite vendor. He has a wide selection of flavors and flavor intensity. Some of his flavors are subtle, like his malty. Some of his flavors are not subtle, like his Casablanca or his Melonbacca. What you want from him, depends on what flavors you need to get from him. All of them are well performing. It's a 70-30 PG-VG mix, 70% PG, 30% VG. I prefer 100% VG, and that's probably the only reason he's not, higher up on my favorite vendors list. His flavors are great tasting. They just don't produce 100% VG amount of vapor. However, I will say this, for a 70-30 mix, they produce an outstanding amount of vapor, as you can clearly see here. I mean, just great, nice vapor. Definitely better than any 100% PG juice I've ever had. And because it's so high in the PG content, his tobaccos do have very nice, I would almost say reckless throat hit coming out of them. So if you're a throat hit liker, you may find Backwoods Brew tobacco lines to be very much what you're looking for. Definitely worth checking out. His prices are reasonable. It's backwoodsbrew.net. This is my review of 3 of his flavors. Thank you for watching.